Where are we? Where did that portal take us? I suppose I shouldn't be surprised about traveling through portals leading to other places. After all, us being here is the result of some form of planar travel and much beyond my capacity to logically explain. It's a test. All of this. Yes, it's a test. It must be. Lathander tests me to prove my faith. His hand guiding me. I should trust him. He will lead me right. Lathander, protect Van Richten and Esmeralda. Keep them safe and keep me safe. I need to get out of here. This is Red Moon Role-Playing.
You take a moment to gather yourselves in this new location as the portal closes quickly behind you. You hear silence for a moment, and then a low whistling sound coming from outside this chamber, much like the wind blowing directly outside. The light coming from your cantrip spell gives you enough light to see that you are in a chamber with a heavily barred door directly in front of you, and some stairs that seem to go upwards in this new building. Again, you are both now very, very cold. What do you do?
We need to see what's out here. We cannot remain here, and the portal will eventually open up again. And the door looks too barred to open up. Let's go upstairs and see what we can find. What do you think, Roshik?
Well, I can't stay here anymore. Whether they come or not, it's too cold. Let's get out of here.
Yes. We start moving up.
You head up the stairs, coming into a similar chamber that lies upwards. This room has windows in almost every wall now. A rusted iron ladder bolted to the floor and ceiling leads up to a wooden trapdoor in the ceiling. Mounted above a stone hearth in this room is a dire wolf's head. You hear from this little hearth. It obviously must connect upwards in some sort of chimney, and you can hear that wind sound blowing harsh down it. Otherwise, there seems to be nothing else in this room.
I go to look out through one of the windows.
The glass is faded from age, and you can't really see much beyond. Other than darkness, it is after all. Must be now 8, 9 o'clock in the evening. And something moving in the fog outside. Your dark vision picks it up. Little flakes of snow.
It's snowing outside. We must be far, far up.
Yes, we must be. We must have traveled far. That would make sense. What do you use portals for, if not for traveling great distances? There's a trapdoor as well, yes?
Correct, with a ladder going up to it.
Let us see what is up there. Perhaps the answers await there. I do not like the thought of going out into the darkness. Not unless we absolutely have to.
No, we can't stay here. And I start climbing up the ladder to feel if the trapdoor if it's possible to open it.
It creaks loudly. It hasn't been open in some time. But if you give it a good hard push, it begins to come away and open. As you do so, you are met with wind and snow coming now from outside, which is where this trapdoor leads.
It's snowing. I peek up and to get out. I don't see any other way.
Peeking out, you see you are on the top of what must be a little tower, as you take into account the other floors. You see 10-foot-tall gold-plated statues standing atop the battlements of this tower, facing outwards. Each one depicts a female human knight holding a lance. The cold wind stirs the snow, under which you can see as well human skeletons clad in rusty mail are scattered around the top of this tower top. What do you do?
I pull my cloak around me. Well, this is an impressive sight, and I climb up fully and start going around the battlements of the tower.
You come and pull your cloak around you tight. You need to. It is freezing out here. Wind and hail are gently blowing about, although it's a gentle snow for now, not exactly a tempest. You wouldn't be able to see much, but your dark vision gives you some element of looking around you. You can see great distance. The air is thin here. You must be very high up. Looking to the east, you can't see much. Oblivion seems to await you, even though your dark vision is good. Looking to the west, however, you notice a few things. This tower seems to be in front of some sort of gate, and that gate seems to, again, on the east, lead to nothing, but on the west be part of some sort of mountain range, and maybe there's even a bit of a road down below you outside this tower. You can't see much more, though, from this point. The darkness is too great, and there is a great deal of fog in the snow around you.
We're up in some sort of tower and some battlement. And I look round down there. Is there any way to climb down from up here?
Climbing down from here without any gear would be very challenging. You're at least 3 stories up and can see only a straight drop leading down to what looks like the entrance to this tower and then the road ahead.
Well, on the bottom floor where we came from, was there bars on the inner side so that we could just unbar it and go out?
Yes, although they looked rusted and you imagine it still might not be easy, but it does seem bolted on this side primarily, yes.
It's cold up here. I'm not sure where to go. The only way out seems through the bottom of the tower where we came from.
Yes, I have followed, and I also look out across this scene, this darkness, this snow, this cold. Yes, my friend, I see no other way. Let's look around a bit inside, and then let us make our way outdoors. We know that they are just steps behind us.
I kick over the bones strewn about, and I try to see if I found anything of value before we climb down again.
You kick one of these skeletal corpses. It doesn't seem to react much. You notice on it has basic weapons, basic armor, long, abandoned, covered in rust and frost. You notice the other bodies start to rise. Now that you've kicked one of them, they begin to stand, very slowly reaching for their weapons.
And upon the sight of this, I touch my holy symbol, and I whisper, Lathander, give them peace again, and I cast Turn Undead, using Channel Divinity.
You cast your Turn Undead, spreading forth a holy radiance from your person, and immediately, every single one of these skeletal beings sort of stands up and shatters before you, falling back to the floor in heaps of bones. You can feel their energies were not enough for your mastery now of your holy powers.
I shake a little bit. Upon seeing this, I seem to have grown stronger. I'm not the the feeble priest that tried to fight that little boy. And as we first came to this land, I have changed. This land has changed me. It has made me stronger. I wonder if it has changed me in other ways as well. I wonder if it has tainted my soul. I say this aloud so that you can hear as well, Roshek. I'm sort of mumbling, but you can hear it.
Whatever has happened, I agreed it's made us stronger. And that for now is good. And I look around again at these golden statues. It's a strange place, this. It's a sort of an outpost. These things look like something good, something holy perhaps. And yet inside there's this power of undead.
This must have been like Argon-washed Holt. This was perhaps a place of good once. A place of good before it was destroyed by Strahd and his minions. Before the night. Before the eternal night.
Roman, you can roll me a history check if you like.
Yes.
Yeah, I say. That's probably it. Probably yet another bastion that's been obliterated by the Count.
I roll a 4.
There is nothing here that looks familiar to you, but it must be old. You get a sense of that. Maybe one of the oldest buildings you've seen here. The burnishing on these statues. How long have they been standing here? Hundreds of years? Maybe even more, but you cannot tell on just a first glance anyway.
No. It is an inhospitable land, at least here. This cold must not have been an easy life. Although one wonders if this is how it was then as well. Either way, it is time for us to take our leave and leave this place behind. I believe we must go into the night now. Roshek, are you prepared?
I lay my hand on one of the statues and I say yes, and I head back down again.
You descend without incident all the way back down to the bottom level and come once again to that door. You notice nothing seems to be occurring. There is no portal open as you come down.
Must have been Rudolph.
Yes, must have been Van Richten. I hope he is all right, and his pet too.
I rub my hands together and blow out a puff of air. Well, I suppose we should try and get out of this tower, and I move over to try and get the bars of the door.
Roll me a strength athletics check.
I almost wish we could stay here at the hearth and warm ourselves, but we'd just be cold again once we moved away from it.
Yes. If we dared to take a rest here, that would be nice, but we should try to find somewhere else. It is not safe here.
Yes, I roll 15.
You start to push and shove against this door and this bolt. It is, as you thought, heavily rusted and stern in place. You make it budge a little, but it is extremely hard work, and you have not yet opened the door correctly. You've at most just moved it a little bit. This is a lot of hard work, Roshek. You wonder if some help might be beneficial.
Yes, and I do not wait long. In fact, I join him immediately, and I again touch him and tell him, Lathander's with us. I have seen it. He took down those undead up there. He will guide us through this. He will guide us through the night, and he will guide us back to where we need to be, so that we can kill the devil.
Enough, just give me a hand with this.
Yes, and I have cast guidance on you, and together we shall now open this door, and you may add a d4 to your roll.
Indeed, roll again.
It's 23.
You push again with all your might, gritting your teeth as you just try and leverage up this bolt. Once again, for a moment, you feel your strength giving way, but then you glow a little with the benefit of the aid spell, and it just gives you enough push to finally force it open. Although this was a great effort on your part, it really was rusted shut well.
Well done. Lathander's with us.
Well, at least that effort will keep my muscles warm for a little bit longer. I open the door into the cold night.
Indeed, and before you again you can now see a little more clear that there is obviously some surface and road directly outside. Although beyond that, into the night, it is hard to see in this fog and snow. What do you do?
I look towards where the portal opened, where we came first, into this space. I shall leave a gift for those who may decide to follow us. I make the moves that Lathander has taught me, that I have read about in the holy texts. Now I feel powerful enough to finally bring it forth, to bring forth my guardian of faith. And I cast that spell, and in front of where the portal would open now awaits a large spectral guardian, sword and shield, emblazoned with the holy symbol of Lathander. It is awaiting those that may wish harm upon us. They will not have a pleasant awakening in this land.
Indeed they will not, and your silent guardian stands ready. The spell is successfully cast. What do you now do?
What's that thing, I say?
It is Lathander. You can think of it as that. It is my god protecting us. He will help delay our pursuers, perhaps inflicting harm upon them so that they may have to spend some time here recuperating. It should buy us some time at the very least. Hopefully even kill a few of them.
Sounds good to me. Let's find someplace else to rest.
Yes, agreed.
And you venture out into the night. Immediately, you can now see a lot clearer what is directly on your left, this gateway. You notice the shelf of rock on which the mountain road clings to is narrow here, and to your left the icy cliffs rise sharply towards dark rolling clouds. Ahead through the wind and snow you see this high wall of black stone lined with spikes and topped by statues of demonic vultures with horned heads. There are 2 of them. Set in the centre of this wall is a closed iron portcullis, behind which burns a curtain of green flame. This is immediately now to your left, and where the road seems to lead. Beyond that, on the right, the road leads into the night, perhaps leaning downwards. You now feel that yes, you must be high up in some mountainous range.
So we have, what did you say? We have a path that leads out into the night, and then we have one that leads towards a iron portcullis.
Correct. Basically, this tower seems to be right next to this portcullis that seems to block the road to the, from where you're standing, west direction, while the road continues east, leading into the night, and also you feel slightly leading downwards. Beyond all this pathway through this mountainous area seems to lead into a straight drop. You can see a little, but then beyond that, nothing.
Roshek, where is Esmeralda? Which direction is she? I'm sure she's far away, but perhaps we can start making our way there?
And I listen to the ring, see what it says.
You take a moment to focus on the ring and feel her presence. Once again, it is very far away, although you notice very slowly, it keeps edging a little towards you. Beyond walking straight off the road into an abyss, the closest direction that would make sense to you feels like going downwards, away from whatever this construction is.
We need to get down from here. We need to get, well, at least to somewhere we can stay for a bit. I don't think that portcullis there leads anywhere. From seeing up there, where we were in the tower, there was nothing. Let's continue along this path.
Agreed. Let us go.
Do you immediately turn to walk away, Roman? Or do you for a moment just look back at this portcullis?
I do look towards it, given that it was the other path perhaps open to us. I do look towards it, trying to get an idea of what may be there.
And you just feel a strange whispering on the wind as you do this. And a cold chill, different from the physical cold chill you're feeling. This feels deeper somehow. Something in your heart senses evil. Immense evil. Almighty, dominant evil is in that direction. And you almost feel a shiver of fear. And then on the wind, just that whisper then suddenly. Voices telling you, come, do not go that way. Come this way, Roman. This way, come. Everything you want is here. This is the way. Do not go away. This is the way, Roman. Roshek, you will look behind you and notice Roman having this moment of looking at the gate. And you too will suddenly start to hear a whisper on the wind and voices telling you, all that you desire, all that you need is this way. This way, come, everything. No price, no catch. Laughter on the wind as you two suddenly feel something awful lying in that direction. What do you two do?
So does it feel more awful than alluring?
To Roman, I would say it is awful. To you, Roshek, you will have to answer that for yourself. After all, are you that afraid of these things in the night or not?
There's something being held in there. Something being barred off.
Lathander, silence those voices. Do not let them lead me into temptation. Do not let them lead me astray. There is evil there, Roshek. Evil of a shape that we have not seen so far. Even worse than the Count. We must move away from it. It will only bring death and dark troubles with it. Come, let us descend. Let us move as far away from here as we can.
I start moving towards the portcullis instead, just thinking I could have a glimpse, maybe through the bars.
As you move towards the portcullis, they do start to open, slowly descending upwards, giving you a full view of this curtain of green fire that awaits directly in front of them. And yes, the voices swell, getting stronger in chorus. They are happy for you to come, Roshek. Yes, come forwards. Come and visit. Everything you want and desire can be yours. You also, for a moment, feel the tinge on your ring, which is not in this direction.
No. This is not the path. This is not the path. We need to find the blade. We need to do what we were set out to do. And I turn away and I quickly start walking the other way down the path.
As you begin to move further away, the voices start to dwell and ebb a little. Roman, you notice for a moment he was heading towards that horrible gateway, but he's turned away, and you feel relief.
Yes, I feel relief. Whoever the people who used to inhabit this place were, perhaps they were guardians of something truly horrid. Something so evil that not even the Count has dared set it free. It is good that we are moving away from here. It is right, and I thank Lathander for guiding us through this place. And we move down.
You begin to wander on down the road into the night. For the most part, it's quite a simple journey. You clearly are on a high-up mountain road. If it wasn't for this road, you'd be directly in the mountains themselves and be finding your journey very difficult. But it is dark ahead, and the snow continues to fall. Roshek, you feel a tingling sensation, although it's a sensation that's familiar now. A sensation of that guiding path. It seems to want your attention. Do you allow it to come?
It's been a while now, and it hasn't done any harm so far. Yes, I'm letting it come.
And you feel a sensation come over you, and the voice, your mother's voice, return. Where are you? What is this? Oh, I see. Roshek, you need to get the blade. You have delayed long enough.
I am, Mother. I'm walking there now.
Good. You must find the blade. You must overcome everything. And you must end this and get to the point. The point of no backing down. And then you must be ready. Are you still ready? You will not hesitate when the time comes, yes?
No, I will not hesitate. Once the blade is mine, nothing will stand in my way.
Good. And you feel the presence leave. Both of you make me a perception check.
Natural 20.
12.
You feel the wind start to pick up a little, and you look into that void, Roman, the void that lies on the other end of this road, obviously leading down many, many hundreds of feet, back down to the lower levels of this land. And you sense a change in the air. And you can see something shifting far, far away in the clouds, in the storm, the blizzard. A blizzard is coming, Roman, and you can just about make a strange shape. A face. A giant, massive face forming on the side of the road. A familiar face. It seems to be watching you, and then bellows in anger and rage. You can hear it, you as well, Roshek. And in it brings forth a blizzard as the snow and the wind pick up immensely around you. What do you do?
Do your worst. Do your worst. I yell towards the blizzard and towards the Count.
I try to ignore it. There's nothing we can do. I'm gonna focus on keeping steady pace, keeping on the path.
It is difficult. It is now freezing. The very air in front of you practically turning to ice. There and then, the wind is howling, the snow falling. You are trudging forward now, up to your ankles, no, your knees, in snow. Roshek, this isn't good. This is very, very bad.
What can we do? I'm trying to think. Can you get rid of this weather? Can you bring us some warmth? We're not equipped for this.
I can perhaps bring some light to this place. Yes, I can do that. I can bring some light. And perhaps that will help. I shall use my holy symbol of ravenkind, seeing as how that is capable of unleashing actual sunlight. I shall light up this place, and I shall allow the power of the sun, the power of Lathander, to perhaps counter the Count's influence.
And your icon blazes with light and radiance, and for a moment the road is well lit up, at least around you a little. It helps, much like a fire would. But it was still so cold, and the storm is not abated by this. It continues to blow and billow around you. You do notice something, however, now that there is more light on the road. Figures are starting to approach. They are all around you, slowly lurching forwards in the dark, very slowly, almost shambling. What do you do?
Do I see anything, any place where we could go? Or is this simply our death waiting out there? Is it's just cold and these horrible walking corpses? Is that it? Is there nothing?
You start to panic for a moment as you think maybe that is it. But Roshek, your vision is just a little better than Roman's. Did you see a glint of something? Just a small speck of light. Maybe another 10 minutes ahead of you in the mountainside. Did you? It seemed to come and it was gone. It's hard to tell. You were so cold.
I think there could be something ahead. Yeah, and I feel in my pockets after the gem as well.
You feel it and it's still there, but doesn't offer you anything. But yes, it's maybe only a few more, maybe 5 minutes continuous walk ahead to investigate what that was. It was definitely something near the mountainside, although those figures are approaching. What do you do?
We have to press on. These things can't get in our way. And maybe there's more undead.
Yes. If they are undead, then Lathander will chase them away. The important thing is that we have somewhere to go. So let us make our way to that place. Hopefully it will offer us some protection.
I'm not sure it is a place, but it's what we have for now.
So you begin to trudge forward, but it is so hard. You have the light of the sun now with you, but it does not melt snow that quickly. You still need to trudge through it. Like I said, it's almost now up to your knees, and the wind howls and blows. It is so cold. The figures are coming. It's very slowly, though. But can you make out some details? Roshek. One is very tall, about the size of an ogre. You see it lift a hand. It's very far away still, but it is waving at you. Roman, you see one much smaller than that, shaped more like a child, a boy. It gives you a familiar wave as well. You see others, some of them garbed, yes, as the light starts to hit them, even though they're far away, in Vistani wear, though they are old and dead. Stab wounds from behind. Others still look like men Do you remember these men, Roshek? They wear a mercenary guild's outfit. You had a battle with them once. Roman, you are seeing an old man is approaching from behind. You remember him? He came to the temple once. He was beyond healing, and he failed to be healed by your magics. You were inexperienced back then. The dead are coming for you both. You're dead specifically, it seems.
This is the work of the Count. They are not really here. It is just what he wants us to see. He's using our fears against us. Let us press on. Just Lathander, please guide us through this.
I know this is true, but I feel unsettled by it. I shout out, Barsrog, is that you again?
You're approaching that area closer now. You see, once again, Roman, you see it. Another light. A woman. Is it a woman made of light? Seems familiar. You begin heading towards it. Roshek, as you call out, you do hear an echo on the wind. Aye, Roman. Aye, Roshek, as well. Friends, worry not. You'll be with us soon where you belong.
I can barely feel my toes anymore in this cold. And I don't like this. 1 minute. It's the dead, Roman. It's just the dead from our pasts. It's like you said, it's the devil trying to play with us. He knows we're here, of course.
Yes, he does. I focus in on that light, on that woman. Is that Markovia, or is it someone else? But it is the only hope that we have now. I use the last of the strength that I have to try to get to her.
Both of you roll me athletics checks, please. Or strength checks.
14.
4.
You both stumble forwards in the snow, trying to outpace whatever's coming for you. The going is very hard, though. But Roshek, you start to make a little more progress, compared to poor Roman at least. You see, there is a crevice ahead. A gap in the mountainside. There is a little opening. You don't know where it leads, but it has to be better than this. And you begin forcing yourself towards it. But Roman, you are falling behind. He is gaining on you, and these things, they are coming closer. You hear a familiar voice. A female's voice. Where are you going, Roman? Do you not miss me? Can't you just come to me? We can be together, Roman. That's all I want.
Maya, I wish I could have said goodbye to you, but I couldn't. But you're not here. Nothing I do here will fix what I did and what I didn't do. No, and I try to move away. I cannot face this, not now. Not her as well.
I shout over my shoulder. Come on, Roman. In here.
And I do my best. I do my best to get there.
But you stumble. You fall onto your face into the snow. The cold sensation worse now. And again you look behind you, and you can see them so clearly. Both her figure and his figure. So close now. Wouldn't it be easier just to give in? Roshek, you see Roman has fallen behind you. What do?
Damn you, Roman. Come on. And I start pacing back again to bring him up.
Roman, he picks you up. You feel his hands. What do?
Thank you. And I look towards Maya and Alander, towards my family, my dead family, and I do my best to tear my eyes away from them. I cannot do anything here that would solve anything. I will see them some other time. I will see them when it is my time to die, but that is not today. Lathandra has a mission for me, and I will be damned if I will not succeed in fulfilling that mission.
Don't look at them. Look there, look ahead. And use those legs even if you don't feel them anymore.
And I try to do just that.
And you, with his assistance, push forward more. Push forward towards this crevice. There is definitely a crevice. You are so close now. You are almost in it. Roshek, you are pulling him along now. Roman's strength seems to have failed him, but he is able to get along as long as you help. And you spare one look first into the interior, which seems to lead somewhere, but you don't know. And again, back to this procession. And you finally see one other thing as your old ogre friend comes closer. He holds out something. A baby. A half-orc baby. Its umbilical cord is hanging around its neck. He holds it out and you see this creature babble at you and reach for you. How do you feel?
I feel terror. Feel absolute terror. And anger. Why won't this damn ogre leave me alone?
It's not just him, Roshek. You see now behind him so many familiar faces. After all, you've killed quite a few, haven't you? They're all here, Roshek, waiting.
This is where they all end up. Then I'm gonna live. I try to push inside and away from it, but it's feels like the picture of that half-orc child with the umbilical cord around its neck has etched its way into my eyes.
Yes. After all, Roshek, you recognize every single one of those faces, except that one. And of course the ones who you assume were people Roman knew, but that one knew you. How is that possible, Roshek?
Something that I would have killed, but I hadn't seen. I haven't killed any babies. I haven't. And how did I dishonor the dead? And it kind of just drains me with all the cold and the physical exhaustion of this.
And yet, Roman, perhaps you will notice Roshek's resolve seems to be wavering as he stands just at the edge of this crevice. You're almost there. Some of your strength has returned. What do? You're there, but he's just stopped. Roshek is just staring out into these faces, and there are many you do not recognize, although you can see the same thing he's seeing. What do?
Come, brother. There will be a time to spend with them when your life is over. You will have all the time in the world. But you do not have that time now. We don't have that time now. We must kill the devil, remember?
Spending time with them is the last thing I'd want to do, I say, and I snarl and I turn around and I make the last push towards the crevice.
And you begin to edge through this crevice. It's quite narrow. But eventually, after a moment, your dark vision kicks in and you find yourself in a very small cavern. Very small. And is that bedding? Some packs? Firewood? It's all dark in here, but you definitely think you are seeing these things. The cold is coming in still from the crevice. But for now, you can only hear the sound of the blizzard outside. As you enter this chamber, what do?
I don't hesitate for a second seeing the firewood and what's ready there. We need to heat up quickly before we start suffering from hypothermia. I try to fumble in my packs after something to light the fire.
You find what you need. You are, after all, skilled in survival, luckily. And it doesn't take you much effort, even though your hands are shaking, to form a small fire. The room lights up. Roman, you notice there are some bedrolls around, and some packs. You go and investigate and find they have food, and thick coats made of some sort of beast. You are reminded of the sort of clothing those men wore, the ones at the vineyard.
Is that where we have ended up? Around What was the name of that place? Yester Hill?
Yester Hill was the name, although you can't help but feel this does not feel like a hill. Not at all. Still,
yes. Rorschach, the clothing here, it reminds me of those men that we faced at the vineyard, the men from Yester Hill. Perhaps it is the same clan, albeit much, much further away.
Might be. What's in there?
Everything that we need to rest here, to wait for the morning and wait out this blizzard. It is a blessing. It must be Lathander. Yes, it must be Lathander. I fall on my knees and I start praying.
And I finish making the fire and I start rubbing my hands and taking my shoes off to get some sensation back into my feet.
And the warmth helps a little. We're no longer so in so much trouble. You look to the crevice, and the night continues, and you hear the blizzard continuing. You have no idea when it will end. For now, at least, you feel safer.
The beings are not following us anymore, then?
No, they are not.
I breathe out and I start removing my pieces of my equipment, trying to get into these dry things that have been packed up and the bedrolls and get dried up.
Yes, it feels much better. These are winter, this is winter clothing. Yes, this must be a little outpost, you feel, or a safe crevice maybe known to travellers who come this way. That's your logic to it anyway. You feel it is extremely fortuitous you found this place. You probably could have walked straight past it if it hadn't been for whatever that light was that drew your attention.
Funny, I say, and I take a bit of food, a bit of dry bread or whatever it is, and I chew it. There's something in here, something showing the way in here.
Yes, brother, there is a force out there, a power that wishes us well. And yes, the Count is powerful, but he is not the only thing that's powerful in this realm.
Well, we're damn lucky to have it. That could have gone really bad really quickly if we hadn't found this place.
Yes, whatever it is saved our life. That much is certain.
I think about this. Yeah, it's probably some sort of outpost. Something for whoever dwells in these parts. But I doubt anyone will come wandering in here when this storm is raging. I think we can rest. At least perhaps taking turns to watch.
Yes, rest is what we need. Hopefully the blizzard will have subsided and traveling tomorrow will be easier. But I do fear that our enemies are not far behind, and we will need all of our might when the morning comes.
And I lay down and I prop up my things. Try to put them all out around the fire so that they will dry and get ready to get some rest.
Indeed. And finally you sit down and rest. The sound of the wind and the cold close by. Sleep comes over you both, though it's not that comfortable. Although, compared to what you just experienced, it is a godsend. Roman, your sleep is troubled at first. You are surrounded by darkness. The faces of all those you saw are still there, waiting in the night you feel. You find yourself floating above a chasm, and you look and see Irina. Yes, she's right there, standing above you, but she cannot see you, as she jumps and falls before you into an endless chasm of darkness. You sense her looking at you as she goes, a look of anger. You hear her whisper just before falling out of reach. You didn't even try. You didn't even try. How do you feel?
She is telling the truth. I did not try. It did not even occur to me. I am not the altruistic priest that I claim to be. I am, at the end of the day, interested in getting what I want. That has always been who I have been, and people have suffered for that, just like she suffered for that. We did not try. I did not try. And what happened to her is on my conscience, as is so many other lives.
For a moment, there is a light ahead of you, though, as you float in this darkness. A woman. She's so very far away, though. You can hear her, though. Her voice very faint. Her child. My child. No, her child. You must endure. I have faith in you. You can do one thing. You can give vengeance for us all. For my sister, for all our fallen brothers and sisters. You can do it. I believe in you. You have my blood. I believe in you, Roman. It is the only thing you can do.
Yes. Yes. Yes, I can fix this. I can fix this. I can fix everything. I can fix everything, and I can bring them back, and I can fulfill this command of my God and this command of all those that care about me, and yes, I will make things good again, and I will have forgiveness. I will have forgiveness, and I will be whole again, and all will be well. All will be well. All I need to do is to kill the devil. Yes.
And the light fades, and you fall into dark, dreamless sleep. Rorschach, he was standing on a mountain, surrounded by the dark. Yet just before you, you can see the blade. It's far away, but it is within your grasp. You merely need to reach for it, and not hesitate. You hear that repeated again and again. You must not hesitate when the time comes. How do you respond?
As quickly as I see it, I just reach out to take it.
And you feel it in your hand, and it feels good. But then there is something before you, a foe. You cannot see its features, but it stands, and you just hear, strike, strike. What do?
And I, just holding the blade in my hand, as quickly as I grasped it, I strike.
And you do, and whatever was before you is cleaved down, and you feel strong, you feel power, more power. That must be the key. That must be the key, yes. If you strike down whatever is in front of you, power, more of it. You will need it.
And I roar, feeling the power, feeling the rush of instinct and of acting and doing the right thing, feeling how it glows within me.
And you hear a crying. A baby's cries from far away. Mother's groans of anguish and woe, but you cannot see where it is coming from. It is somewhere in the dark, and it is not on your path. How do you respond?
As my roar fades out, I stand there breathing, feeling the exhilaration sort of slowly drain from me as well. And I stand and I listen more. Who is this woman weeping?
It sounds familiar, Rorschach. Very familiar.
I move towards it.
You can just about see something in the dark. A figure holding a baby. And yet there is blood. Rorschach, so much blood. You feel very uneasy. And suddenly you just feel from behind a hand on your shoulder. And you turn to see your father. And he looks at you with great disappointment.
What? What? Didn't I do as you wanted?
You have always disappointed me, son. And yet, you do always come out on top, don't you? Even then.
You think it's that easy? You really think it's that easy? Always coming out on top. You had me thrown out. For not being able to succeed. Not being able to live up to your expectations. And what's this now? What's this about me having dishonored the dead? What's it now that you're expecting of me that I don't know? What's it this time that I'm supposed to know, without you ever telling me anything?
He is silent. Silent as his features turn to darkness. And he is gone. And you are just alone. In the dark, the sound of a baby crying far off in the distance.
And I roar and I slash at the air where he's disappeared, in frustration and anger. And then I just stand there, breathing.
And the dreams fade to nothing. And eventually, the pair of you stir, finding yourselves in that chamber, the fire long gone out. You are cold, but not as cold as you were. And from the crevice, you see the light of the day, at least as much light as you get in these lands, creeping forward, beckoning you to a new tomorrow. Although who knows what awaits in this mountainous range.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the campaign Curse of Strahd for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Curse of Strahd was designed by Christopher Perkins and based on the adventure Ravenloft, written by Tracy and Laura Hickman in 1983. Dungeons & Dragons is published by Wizards of the Coast. The music is created by Metatron Omega, Flowers for Body Snatchers and Word Clock, and is used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Visit cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more tasty dark ambient. A new episode of Red Moon Roleplaying is released every Friday. Please like our Facebook page and give us feedback, comments and input there. You can also visit us at redmoonroleplaying.com. Finally, a huge thank you to our growing base of supporters. You are truly amazing and inspire us so much to keep going with the show. If you haven't yet found us on Patreon, please have a look at the links in the description and see if you want to show your appreciation and encourage our work with the show there. While the show will always be free of charge to our listeners, Patreon supporters have access to extra material such as our bonus Q&A podcast Ask for the Moon, where we discuss all topics and questions our Patreons have for us. You can even get access to the full-length, raw and unedited versions of our gaming sessions way before they are released as finished episodes. Thank you for listening. Looking forward to meeting again next week.